eye-opening violence has erupted in the capital of Zimbabwe, Harare, as the ruling ZANU-PF party has won the parliamentary vote following Monday's election there. Well, the result of the vote for the next president has not yet been announced. What had been an historic opportunity to welcome a new political era after nearly 40 years of rule under Robert Mugabe has tonight turned ugly. Supporters of the opposition MDC party are claiming the vote has been rigged, and the police are on the streets using water cannon and live ammunition. Well, there are reports this evening that 3 people have been killed in the protests. Our Africa editor, Fergal Keane, reports now from Harare.
From early, there was something different in the air. Reports emerged on state media that a presidential winner would be declared by the afternoon. And at opposition headquarters, supporters were gathering in anticipation.
It's about an hour to go before the declaration of the result. We've got police water cannon now stationed right outside opposition headquarters. And compared to the celebratory move yesterday, it really does feel more tense here.
In the absence of an official result, the crowds believed the claims of their leader, however premature.
They want to hold up the hostage. We are not going to tolerate that because we know that Chamisa is the winner. Chamisa has got victory in his hands, and we are not going to listen to whichever result they are announcing.
But over at the results centre, hopes of an announcement faded as the declaration of parliamentary results dragged on. And it appeared that not all the legal representatives of the 23 presidential candidates had turned up.
For now, this is all we have for you. We will start announcing the results of the presidential as soon as that legal process has been taken care of.
The delay convinces the opposition that there's a fix. And as the day wore on, foreign observers appealed for a swift declaration.
The results of the presidential elected were counted first in the polling stations. Therefore, I have still to learn why it will be published last.
But just outside, the riot police had locked the gates against hundreds of protesting opposition supporters. They burned posters of the president and ruling party. We heard shots and tear gas. And then the afternoon descended into chaos. At the other end of the city, police came under attack. A ruling party office was targeted. Gunfire echoed around the city. There was injury and death.
There are soldiers just beyond this group of running people. It's changed dramatically, the atmosphere in the last 24 hours. Really volatile now. We've had tear gas fired, shots fired. I think we gotta go.
We saw a bayonet-wielding soldier strike at a protester. Opposition supporters tried to blockade a large swathe of the city centre and witnessed scenes more reminiscent of a war zone than a country in the middle of a democratic election. Fergal Keane, BBC News, Harare.
Well, in the last hour or so, the opposition MDC party has been holding a news conference in Harare.
We condemn, in the strongest sense, the action that was taken today. There is no justification whatsoever for the brutality we experienced today. Let us all maintain peace in the country whilst respecting the rights of citizens. The idea that protesters are violent is a false narrative that cannot be justified.
So that's the opposition MDC. We can go live to Zimbabwe now and speak to Duduzile Nyirongo, who's a political activist and has been standing as an independent political candidate in Harare. Thank you very much for being with us. How did you get on in the election, first of all?
Thank you, Ben. The election, unfortunately, I did not win. I was 3rd out of 5 candidates, but I took it as a learning curve for me. It has been an amazing experience, and I've been able to campaign freely and to meet a lot of people and to learn a lot in the process.
What was your sense of these elections overall? Do you think they were free and fair elections?
I can speak for the constituency that I was running for. I think everything was in order in the constituency I was running for. Things were free and fair. I could campaign freely. We managed to witness the vote counting and to verify the figures that were coming out from our constituency. But I'm not sure about what has happened in other constituencies, since we've only just been hearing some reports, but we've not seen anything yet.
Because we're hearing claims from the opposition MDC that the whole vote has been rigged. What would you say to that?
I'm sure if they've got the evidence, they're waiting to release it after the elections have been announced. But for now, I cannot really say anything about it because I have not seen any evidence on whether there have been any rigging claims, any rigging that has been happening so far.
Well, what about, though, the clashes that we've seen in Harare today? A lot of violence. We gather 3 people dead. What do you think of that, of these clashes that we've seen between the security forces and the opposition who are unhappy with the way the elections have been carried out?
Today is a very sad day for me. I do not like seeing soldiers in our streets. For me, soldiers should be coming when there is a situation of war. So them coming on the streets, they're declaring war on the citizens of Zimbabwe. So for me, soldiers being on the streets is unjustified at the moment. I was hoping that the police could restrain the order and to maintain law and order, not us to see soldiers coming on the streets. This is very sad. Lives have been lost. People are now in fear because generally Zimbabweans are peace-loving and they do not want to be seeing any violence happening or any soldiers in the streets. Last time in November, we had soldiers on the streets and we witnessed a coup. And it's not very pleasant to be having soldiers on the streets.
I remember talking to you after the fall of Robert Mugabe, and you were exuberant, you were celebrating. Where do you think Zimbabwe is now, though, with these elections and now the violence that we've seen after these elections?
At first, I was very optimistic about these elections, that suddenly change is real coming, a legitimate change is coming. But then after the events that happened today, I'm now becoming very pessimistic because I'm not seeing where this is going. This has already tarnished the image of the elections. This has already brought a black cloud over this nation. So right now, I don't even know what's going to happen next. I'm in fear, I'm in shock, and it's kind of gloomy for now. But all I want is for the will of the people to prevail, and it must prevail.
Well, we shall see what happens with these election results, but for the moment, thank you very much for being with us here on BBC News. Duduzile Nyirongo from Harare. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here, it has been described